good morning. Hope you're well. How are you doing? So, what do we have here? What do we have? Triple black, 1250. Come in for some lights on the front, Denali sound bomb, Touratech module, front and rear, and something else which I can't remember. But anyway, let's get to it. Triple black, very nice. Travelled all the way from London, mate, London. Anyway, catch you soon. So, as just mentioned, triple black is in for, what do we have? Milk bottles, because if you come here, you get to sample these seats, Aston Martin wheels that you can look over, drool over, etc, etc. But also experience, none of that, but our fuel tank, coffee beans, roasted here in Wales. But anyway, back to the BMW. So, what do we have? That's what we're going to. We've got a hex ezCAN. We've also got a visor pack, front and rear modules, plug and play, Lone Rider light mount, with also these awesome lights upside down. Oh, we also then have sound bomb, split, and something else which I can't remember, but we'll get back to the build sheet in a minute. So with any install that we do, certainly that involves the front and rear lights, certainly the front lights, we take the tank off. So that means we're going to take engine bars off, dismantle the lights, or take the lights, these light pods off, take the seat off, take the back end off, take the nose off, etc. What else do we do? I think that's it really, but essentially we'll make it stripped. That will take us probably about 45 minutes, if that, I think. On a 1250, on a 1300, these are slightly quicker because there's less nuts, or less bolts, should I say. But anyway, let's get through it. We'll start, and hopefully you can follow the process. So we are with a voiceover. Unfortunately, our sound decided to go array. So what we've done is to take the railings off at the back, or the Zimmer frame, whatever you call them. It's 10 bolts. We've obviously taken the seats off. That gives you better access to the indicators, points for the VisorTech, and then also then the plug that you require for the hex. As we said, we're going to take the tank off for our own installation. You might not do this yourself, but we do. To take the tank off, we then take the plastic caling off, and then to do that, we then take those particular bolts off there that we're just pointing, and then furthermore, to take the nose off and those side pieces off, we then take the lights out if you've got the lights fitted. Reason being is that those particular wires are very, very thin, and if stretched, you've got a good chance that you'll damage them, and then you'll have a permanent or a temporary issue with your CANbus on the bike. So to take those off, just pause at any particular point, but you can see where we're pointing. There's some bolts there, and there's a plastic bolt just in there that you need to then take off. It's a bit of a jigsaw puzzle, but fairly awesome once you've taken it all off. And then once you've done that, you can then take the nose off, which then gives you access to put the Lone Rider or another brand mount on underneath. There's particular holes in there, but that's what we do. Appreciate you might not do that. So as we just mentioned about taking the nose off, once you've taken the nose off, you'll see those rubber grommets. But where I just pointed there was a screw that you take off that then enables you to pull the nose out. Those rubber grommets though are really, really key if you like a really tight fit. They go on those little bits just there. Make sure they come off, make sure they go back on nice and tight. Uninstalled to the point that we're now content to start installing some other bits. Just some other bits that we're going to uninstall. Get the camera to go down there. Go down and around track. I'm going to move these points. I'm going to then install the wiring down in here. Follow the channel. Stick the ezCAN round about here. We've now got access to the points that we need to as well. What else? Got the lights bracket being installed. They're going to be torqued up shortly. And that is it for now, I think. Yeah. Don't be alarmed. All the parts are safely stored away. There we are. There's the light bracket now installed, if by magic. They're all torqued up as per specification. One thing that we do like about the Lone Rider lights and also their light brackets is the box that they come in. Absolutely sublime. We have mentioned, I think, that we are a Lone Rider Installation Centre approved and also approved supplier, reseller, so you can buy our stuff online and in store. Here we are adding a coax or a Cat5 cable. We're not actually adding this. This just helps us guide the channel cabling that we're going to use for the lights back to the hex ezCAN. It's a great thing that we've pinched and that we use. We just lifted the airbox up. As you can see, the airbox is still attached with the grey clips underneath the airbox and the throttle bodies. We dare touch these. They're a little bit challenging to put back on, especially when you don't have the right tools or the tool keeps going missing. You'd have seen previously that the Denali sound bomb split has now been fitted. The actual compressor part is down on the left. That gets wired up to the battery and then to the hex, and then the compressor part or the air bit then goes to the front underneath the forks or in between the forks. So here's the visor wizards module going onto the front. Essentially we just unplug the OEM indicator plug this in, and it's kind of like just effectively daisy chain kind of thing. This then changes the indication on the front. So here we are, Hex ezCAN now installed, Lone Rider installed, Horn installed. So we've configured the red and yellow ports to be disabled because there's nothing attached to those. That's simply just going into the Hex ezCAN. It's exactly the same as the Moto CAN and the Denali CAN Smart. This software, Hex, do them all. It's just going for the Hex though. Better support in terms of long run. You're actually talking to the actual developer. But anyway, there's multiple pros and cons. But certainly more pros than cons buying the Hex. So, yeah, it's just a matter of just plugging up. Obviously with the Lone Rider stuff, with the Lone Rider Moto Lights, they work on the white bus, so all we need to do is just go over to the white, select the eBus option, press apply, update config, which is great. If this doesn't show, simply just go over to the drop down, select ezBus, scan away. It will then run away, scan the system, scan what's attached. The ezCAN does need to be attached to the bike battery or to a battery and connected to the devices. You can see it's then picked away what these are. Motorcycle lights, which is cool. Scan complete, and now we can then configure what we want. So density, daytime intensity, turn that to 5, push that up to 10%, push up to 5, strobe to flash. The R1250GS Adventure triple black with Lone Rider lights, Denali sound bomb split, and also the visor front and rear modules, including tail light. And there's something else as well. But, so that's the bike complete. It's essential that once you do the reinstall, various items get retorqued as per manufacturer spec. Just check these out because there seems to be a bit of wishy-washy tech spec regarding those, but we do these around about 14 to 20 Newton meters. These are about 45 to 55 Newton meters, somewhere in that region. So we'll just turn this on because everything is now been configured. As you can see, the Lone Rider lights are coming on. We'll just run it up because there's certain things. There are certain things that won't run whilst the engine is off. But as you can see, the Lone Rider lights are looking pretty good. What you will see though, the halos are a little bit blurred because of the low beam light. But you can change that. The bike's obviously thinking it's inside, so it's applying as much light as possible. You can see that the indication front lights. So, Lone Rider lights on the left, Denali D7 Pros on my right. Both bikes running because of various things. Trying to keep this simple. Obviously this bike's now starting to run its fan. We'll do this in a minute. Start again. Lone Rider on the left, on my left. Lone Rider Denali D7 Pros on the right. Very similar setup in terms of what we're trying to get the lights to do. So indication, low beam, indication, pros and cons. And I'm not going to talk about too much detail because I know there's many other videos and I've not seen those. I don't know what they're going about, but I've heard various pros and cons. All I'll just say is it depends on your configuration that you want. With the D7 Pros, to get the maximum out of those lights, you need at least 3 ports on a CAN Smart ezCAN module system. On the Lone Rider lights, you need only 1 to get indication, low, full beam kind of thing. So to do all this, it's what you need. Alright, so you can see 2 different types of lights. Again, not going to go into too much detail. You'll have to, all depends on what you want really. Do you want, they're very similar lights, absolutely very similar in terms of spec and various other things, and they do different things slightly, but how many ports do you have? What do you want the lights to do? What do you want the hex ezCAN to do? And various other things. Pricing wise, I know over with MotoWales, we're very similar priced between both products. We think it's probably a fair comparison. I don't know what others are doing, but that's down to them. What I will say as well, you're first to hear it, Lone Rider, and I'm going to say it as well, we are the first in the world to be a Lone Rider store. I don't think there's anywhere else that you can go and touchy feel some Lone Rider stuff.